This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny, and I'm a success coach here at Inside Real Estate, and I am filling in for Lauren. Today's training, we will be going over your kvCORE website, but we will also be going over how you can organize your smart CRM and how you can generate more leads. So before I get started, there's just a couple areas on this dashboard that I just want to point out to you all. Is that on the bottom left-hand corner here, we have a learning portal. This learning portal will open up a new tab, and it will take you to our free courses. Now, I do recommend you guys completing these free courses. I know you guys had your first training with us yesterday. Did you guys did you guys get started on your core quick start? Did anyone start this course?
No.
Okay, I do recommend you guys completing these courses as soon as you can. These courses do go over the basics, just setting up your profile, helping you navigate within kvCORE, all the way through advanced training such as lead generation. So that's a course I would recommend you guys taking as well. And on the bottom right-hand corner here, this is our chat bubble. This is so you can connect with our tech support team. So if you need like an immediate answer, you have any questions, concerns, something doesn't seem to be working right, reach out to our tech support team through this chat bubble. That way we can assist you right away. They are open Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. So let's go ahead and dive in. I am logged into my demo account, so I'm not going to see any of your guys' information. And the first thing that we're going to go over is how you can edit your website. So in order to access that, you would go into the web and IDX settings here. And you're going to want to, you're going to be editing your domain. So you'll notice here that you can edit your settings. These are, basic, settings that you can change. On the far right-hand corner, go to Site Editor. This is so you can plug in any widgets. If you are tech savvy, you can also plug in any HTML in there as well. And then below that will be website content. So you can manually add in testimonials. So if you have Zillow, we have a way where you can pull your Zillow testimonials onto your website. And if you also have Testimonial Tree, we have an integration with them as well. So we can automatically pull those testimonials on your site. But if you have other testimonials from other sources, you can manually add them here. That way we can showcase them. Below that will be the service areas and SEO. This is where you can highlight the market areas. And you can create custom pages. So you can create as many pages as you like. So we're just going to be editing my demo account. So let me just find his site here. And I am going to hit Edit Settings. Now you'll notice on this page that we do have a left navigation here where it has General Settings, Testimonials, Template, Custom Navigation, Listing Carousels, Analytics, Agents, and then Listings here. So let me just pull up my agent site. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to be showing you guys where these changes will be applied. So I'm going to jump back and forth. So here in the general settings, this first section here, background images, let me make it slightly bigger. You guys can choose from our stock photos that we have here. If you don't like any of the photos that we provide, you have an option to choose your own. You can upload your own custom background here. Just make sure that it's a photo that you've taken or you've purchased. You didn't take this photo from the internet or like from Google, because most photos nowadays have copyrights tied to it. We do give you a recommendation pixel setting of 1600 by 650 pixels. And I recommend having the image as a PNG file format because it's higher quality. So P is in Papa, N as in November, G is in Giraffe. You can upload your photo here, and then your photo will appear in this background library where you can select it. Anytime you make a change, just make sure you hit save before you go on to the next setting. The Hide Resources page, this relays over to your navigation. This resource is here. Let me make it slightly bigger. Sorry, guys. Right here. This resources page will be hidden. That way no one can access it on your front end. You can also hide your office information. This will appear on your footer. The hide print flyer. This relays over to listings. So if someone's viewing an actual listing, let me see if I can pull one up now. I'll just click on one of these random listings here. On the right-hand side of that listing, you can print that flyer. So again, you can give access to allow your leads to print that flyer right from your website. So that's the setting over here. You can mandate a phone, which relays over to your lead registration form. So when an unregistered lead goes and searches on your site, and that registration form pops up, they're required to fill in their email. Phone number is optional, but you can mandate it. Just select yes. That way they're then required to fill in their email and phone number in order for them to move on. Website title. This relays over to this information here. Let me just go back to the home page where it says kvCORE demo title. You can change the text right here. And again, any types of changes that you make sure you hit save. Below that, this is going to be meta description. So this is optional, but if you guys have your own meta description for your site, you guys can plug it in here. You guys can find more information on this as well in our support portal. The next setting is that use office number on website instead of smart number. So if you guys aren't going to purchase your own smart number, we will showcase your office number instead. But if you did purchase your own smart number, meaning you went into the marketplace tab, purchased it, then we can showcase your smart number instead of your office's. The Ask Unit relays over to your seller valuation page. So let me jump on there. So I'm going to click Sell, and that's how you can jump to your seller valuation. So by default, we just have you enter in that address, and then you can allow to have them or have a unit number field. So if you select yes, this unit number field will pop up. If you select no, this just won't appear. So typically, most agents have just a field where they can enter in their address and then they can get their estimate. The next setting is this custom header. So if you guys decided to, let's just say you purchase Facebook leads directly through Facebook, they will give you a Facebook tracking code or pixel code. You would plug in that code onto the header, the body, or the footer. Typically, they would tell you it's going to be for the header. And then you would plug in that code in here. Anytime you have a tracking code or like a retracking code from Google or Facebook or any other source, you can plug in that code here. That way they can accurately track where you're capturing your leads from or where you're getting your leads from. Custom body. This is, again, if you have another code where they've given you where you need to plug it into the body of your website, such as the Google Tag Manager. You can get a Google Tag Manager if you have a Gmail account. You can set that up with them, and they can create one for your website. And then here you can put a custom footer. Here you can put in a Google remarketing code, or you can put in other content on the footer of your website, which appears right here. What I see agents doing is that they also like to plug in, other social media platforms. That way they can have easy clicks on their website. Now, if you have filled in your profile, we do give you options here on the upper right-hand corner where your leads can also access your social media page. Conversion code. So this is provided for you by Facebook or Google. It is a snippet code. That way you can track your conversion. And then we have a option where you can use a custom chat widget. You can get custom chat widgets from other sources or other third parties. Plug in that HTML coding, and they will be able to, once you hit save, that chat will appear on the bottom right-hand side of your website. But if you use Facebook, you can also use Facebook as a chat as well. So if you plug in your Facebook username in here and hit save, your website will have an option for those leads to connect with you through Facebook Messenger. Before I jump into testimonials, let me just go ahead and check my chat box to see if anyone's asking questions. Frank asked, where can we find the recordings of these training sessions and how soon will they be available? Well, I'll be sending it to Lauren. That way she can send it to the admins. I'll also check in with Maisie. But if you, for yesterday's training, I'll check in with them to see if they can send you those recordings as soon as possible. I will make sure to send this recording to Lauren and Maisie today. That way you guys have access to it. And Jody said that there's no sound. Jody, on your audio setting on your GoToMeeting control panel, there's a computer audio section or call or phone call section. If you're unable to hear me, try dialing in. That way you can access it. It could be your computer audio. Maybe you would have to change one of those settings. And if anyone cannot hear me, let me put in the chat box. Hey, Cindy, thank you for confirming. You can hear me just fine. Jody, it could just be your computer audio. Check those settings, but dialing in is much quicker as well. And thank you, Michael, for confirming as well. All right, so the next thing that we're going to be going over is testimonials. So testimonials, this is where if you have Zillow, you can integrate your Zillow testimonials so it will showcase on your website automatically so you don't have to manually put them in. All you need to do is put in the email or the username or screen name that you use for Zillow and hit save. When you have that plugged in, it is going to appear on your website. It will appear right below your widgets. So it'll appear right above just listed and then right below these widgets here. And then the template, this is going to be the template of your site. So everyone does have a templated website. Everyone has that hero. This is our, most user-friendly template for both you as the user or as a lead and for you as the backend. Foundation is just an older template that we have. Let me just show you how that foundation looks. Let me hit save. Okay. And save that setting, and let me just hit refresh. Let me see if this changes. Yeah, okay, perfect. It's changed right away. So you can see, it doesn't look as nice as, the hero template. The hero template is also mobile friendly, so I do recommend using that hero template. But you do have this option, foundation or hero. Hero. And then let me say that again. And then below that, you can choose the colors. So we do give you a wide range of colors that you can choose from. You just can't use your own custom, color. So if you have a hex code, you can't plug it in. But if you really need this color on your website, what I recommend doing is reaching out to our tech support team through this chat bubble and letting them know that you want a specific color for your website. Just give them that hex color or that hex code. Okay, and below this is where you can choose a background or video background instead of an image background. So if you choose a video as your background, it will appear on the desktop version, but it will not appear on the mobile phone or the mobile version. All you need to do is just plug in the video YouTube ID and hit save. Let me show you how you can find that video YouTube or that, the YouTube ID. So let me pull it up, youtube.com. Frank asked, how long can the YouTube background video be? Well, we don't have a limit, but I recommend the video not being more than 20 seconds. That's because if it's a longer video, it's going to take a much more longer time for it to load up. So let me just inside real estate. All right, let me try to find. Okay, I'll use this one. So let's just say this is, your 20-second video that you want to be as your background. Once you have this up, you just need to find the YouTube ID. The YouTube ID is going to be in that address bar here where it says youtube.com, and it's going to be after this V = sign. So it's going to be U all the way through the 8. So that's how you can find the YouTube ID. Copy that, paste it, and hit save. And then that will appear on as the, let me hit refresh. Well, I didn't save it. Let me save it. And then hit refresh. Now that I've hit refresh, this is going to be the YouTube video. So if it's a shorter video, it will load up much quicker. If it's a longer video, just wait for a bit for it to load up the whole content before it can show that complete video. And you'll notice that the screen is much larger compared to that image. Delete that. Now, the second or the next setting here is that hide chat widget. So if you plugged in your chat widget onto the settings, general settings, but you don't want to delete it right away, you can hide it. That way you still have access to it. Full width custom area. This just relays over to the size here of your background. Full width. Use black color for header. So let's just say you have a white transparent logo. You can use a black color for the header. That way it will still be visible on your website. Or you can use a primary color for the header. So let's just say your primary color for your website is blue. And that's the theme of your color or your website. Then we're going to use the color blue as your header. The hide office name, we will just be hiding it from on the front end of your website. Most people, don't hide it because of compliance. And this next setting here, use square agent cover image. You'll notice that he has a circle. So because I selected no, it changed it to a round image, so a round agent profile picture. So you can choose either a square or a circle. Or if you don't want to have your agent image on your website, you can just hide it completely. Let's just say you have a lighter picture as your background. It's kind of making some of the words hard to read. We can apply a black or a dark overlay on top of that background image. That way text can be much easier to read. And you can let our system know if you want to use a much larger background, stagnant photo background instead of just the default size image. So it will just expand. It will expand this. Let me hit refresh again. So this is the default. If you wanted to do much larger, it will cover most of this front page here. Before I jump into custom navigation, let me just check my chat box. Jody, let me see here. If anyone is having issues hearing me, check your computer audio settings, but I do recommend just using that phone call so you can dial in. I'll also be sending this recording to you guys so you have access to it as well. It doesn't look like we have any questions, so we're going to move on to custom navigation. So here relates over to this navigation here. So search, sell, your agent, and resources. So you can change the label of it. If you don't want it to say search, you could say search for homes now. Sell, you can change it to say how much is my home worth. Finance, I see some agents putting as preferred lender if you have your own lender. Then we have agents and we're hiring. Now we have right below more pages for you to add to your navigation. So if you added custom pages on your website, you can add it as a link on your navigation, or you can add it as a category on your navigation. That way people will have access to your custom pages. You can either add it, to the right of resources. You can add up to 2 pages, or you can add it as a sublink under resources. Sublinks is, for example, if I hover over resources, these are sublinks or subpages. So you can add it as a sublink, or you can add it as a main link on your navigation. You can hide the resources page. So let's just say you don't want this resources page on your main navigation. You can hide it. You can also hide the finance tab. Let's just say you don't have a preferred lender and you just don't want the finance tab on your website. You can hide it. Then you can also hide the we're hiring link on your website as well. So before you can add a custom page or custom subpage on your navigation, you just need to make sure that you have your custom pages in the website content first. Just make sure you have these custom pages added, and then you'll be able to choose one of these options here. Thomas asked, will you go over how to add a preferred lender? I can show you how you can add a preferred lender at the end of today's training, Thomas. The next setting here is listing carousels. This relays over to this section here, just listed, just reduced. Oh, that's it, just listed, just reduced. So we always try to, showcase any of your sold listings, or we always try to showcase your listings first. So it's going to be your listings. This tool will only work if your profile has your agent MLS ID plugged in. So let me hit edit here. Make sure you have your agent MLS ID plugged in. That way we can showcase your active listings on your website, as well as we can pull your listings in that listings tab here. We'll showcase just listed properties from the MLS and then just reduced properties from the MLS. Below that will be the Google Analytics ID. So if you have Gmail, I hope most of you do, you guys will be able to create, or Google can create a Google Analytics code to apply to your website. Just apply that ID in here and hit save. That way Google can track your website analytics. And below that will be for, just like the agents, you can hide your agent information. You could use agent info for your tagline that showcases on your website. This information is on your profile. So let me jump back to your profile. So it's going to be found here. And then if you do not want to use the label Realtor, you want to use real estate agent instead, you guys can make that choice. You can either use not use the word Realtor. Instead, our system will automatically replace Realtor with real estate or real estate agent. Below that will be the listing section. So this is where you're going to let our system know what types of properties you want us to showcase on your website. Most will automatically, we check all of them, but let's just say, you do not want to showcase land or rentals, or, mobile homes, for instance, but you want to show everything else. You can go ahead and uncheck the ones you don't want showcased, hit save. That way, no one is able to search for those types of properties on your website. Cheryl asked, how do you register teams? I can go over how you can purchase teams on your account if you like at the end of today's training. So Thomas, I'll go over preferred lenders, and Cheryl, I'll go over teams. Below the listings is going to be the coverage only. This is where if you want to limit listing searches on counties on your website, I would recommend selecting no, because you don't want to limit that on your website. You don't want to just give them restrictions, but you can select yes. Don't scrub areas, meaning remove options from the search areas, maybe because there's a misspelling, or maybe they use a different, there's a different name for that neighborhood. And below that will be how we're going to default or how we're going to sort your listings once they load up. It is always set to hide from high to low, so high price to low price, but you can change it by low price to high price, number of beds and baths, any of these options here. Default is high to low. And the last section here for listings is how we're going to display your listings. So you'll have the option for grid, list, or map, and let me show you how it looks. Let me go back to the site. I'm going to just search for San Diego. Okay, I'm going to hit city, single family, and I'm going to hit search. So what we're looking at right now is the grid view. It's just a small thumbprint of of the listing. Doesn't give really much information about it, but it does let you know how many beds and baths and the price. You have the option to showcase it as a list, so much larger photos. A lot of agents like this, and you have a little bit more information about the property. Or you have the map view, which means that we're going to be pulling the map on the right-hand side. A lot of agents like the map on the right-hand side. And then on the left will just be, I guess it would be a bigger grid of the listings, bigger photo of the listings, but again, very limited information right when they look at it. But as soon as they click on that listing, they can get more information. So most agents like to use this as well as the list option. So on your website settings, you can either choose how you want to showcase those listings, as a grid, on a list, or as a map. And then you can also add in other popular options. So if people are going to be looking for homes with, they definitely want an AC, you want to make sure ACs are just, included as well. Any of these options here. And you'll notice, again, there's a save button for each setting. I do recommend, or when you make a change, hit save before you go to the next setting. So again, this is how you guys can make changes to the look of your website. What I always recommend doing is, let me pull up the front end. What I always recommend doing is checking out your site as if you were the lead and just writing down what kind of changes you want. After you've written it down, what types of changes you want, reach out to our tech support team through this chat bubble, and we'll let you know what we can and cannot do, since this is a templated site. But we do have other options, where if you want to purchase a semi-custom templated site, or if you have your own web developer, you want to give them access so they can make changes to the look of your site. You would go into that marketplace tab here and locate, you're going to locate DIY WordPress token. So this applies to if you have your own web developer. You would purchase this WordPress token. It is a monthly subscription. You would give the token key to your developer or your web designer, and they'll know what to do with the key, and they'll have access to your backend. So that way they can create the changes on your site. Now just keep in mind that if you need changes done on the look and feel of your site, if you do purchase a WordPress token, your web designer must make those changes. Or if you want to buy a semi-custom templated site, by your preferred vendor. It's only a one-time fee, and she offers different types of designs that she can create. So again, it's just semi-custom. So let me just pull up her site, semicustomdesigns.com. Sorry, it's loading slow. So her semi-custom design templates is a one-time fee of $6.99. Let me just wait for this to load. Sorry, guys. There you go. And you can view the types of templates that she's created so far. So again, you have these two options. You can either purchase it from our vendor, or you can, if you have your own web designer, you can have one, or you can purchase a WordPress token. That way they can have access to your backend. And since we're in the Marketplace tab, this is where you can also purchase, your own leads. So Facebook leads as well as Google leads. Also, if you have a open house in the next couple of weeks or so, you can boost that property. So you can always boost properties. Those property boost ads will appear on both Google and Facebook. So for instance, the Core Property Boost. This is where if you have an open house, or maybe you just got a just listed property and you want to start promoting it right away, you can boost that property, and you can choose from 1 week up to 5 weeks. So it's a 1 week up to 5 week duration. Each week has a different price point. And this ad will appear on both Google and Facebook. And you can track the stats and clicks on that specific ad. Most agents use this to promote like an open house. You can also purchase your own smart number. Everyone does have everyone shares that same smart number, but you can purchase one on your own. It's an additional $25 per month. And if you have your own domain, let's just say you've been using Sally Jones Realtor for years now. You can purchase a vanity domain. That way on all marketing, we showcase your domain instead of the domain that we've given you. However, you can also set up a forwarding as well. So that domain will forward to your agent domain that we created, but still all marketing will showcase the domain we provided. Oh, Cheryl, since we're here too, this is where you can also purchase team add-ons. So if you want to get a team together and apply it onto this account, that way you can have a team lead, that way they can manage, your team's leads. You will have access to have your own website. You'll have your own third-party lead Dropbox settings. You'll have your own landing pages and squeeze pages, as well as your own smart number. And you can also create just team smart campaigns, and you can have a lead routing strictly for that team. Now, you can watch this video, just gives you more information. And if I hit add to kvCORE, for example, that'll give you a breakdown of what comes on those team packages. So for a core team, the small one, up to 15 agents, that's $3.99 per month. Or if you want to do the core plus, that's $7.99 per month, and that's up to 50 agents in a team. So it's just one team for each. You can also request a demo. That way, if you have you want more information about it, you can they can speak with you about it. That way, you can make the best decision. And right below, this is where you can purchase Facebook leads as well as Google leads. Let me find Google. So if you wanted more information about Google leads, just click on Get More Information, and then this tile will pop up. On the left-hand side, it's just going to give you more information on how we're going to run your ads. And our advertising team was able to give us a nationwide price point, average price point, cost per lead, which is $10 up to $18 per lead. Again, this is nationwide. And then on the right-hand side, just gives you a couple of examples of how your ad appears. Now, Just if you do purchase ads or Google ads through us, if you try to search for your ads on Google, you know, if you do find your ad, don't click on it because that counts as that click. If you want to add it onto your kvCORE account, this form will pop up where it's just going to ask you to fill it in. Choose your budget, 500 minimum up to 2,000. Tell our advertising team what market areas you want us to target. You're going to choose your personal domain. And then below that is just letting you know of, depending on when you purchase it, we're either going to run it this month or next month. And the initial startup is a minimum 3-month commitment. After that, it is a reoccurring monthly subscription. So let's just say you decided to purchase Google Leads today, April 2nd. If you bought it today, your ads will run this month. However, if you purchase it on or after the 15th, then we won't run it until the following month, so May. Now, if you wanted to know more about Facebook buyer leads, or you can go ahead and click on that tile. And again, on the left-hand side, just gives you just information of how we're going to run your ads. And on the right-hand side here, it's just going to give you a few examples of how your ad will appear on Facebook. So let me just make this bigger. Sorry if the image does look blurry, but you'll notice here it says your website. So that's what I was referring to earlier regarding your vanity domain. All marketing will showcase your domain here. If you want it to showcase your domain that you've purchased, that you've been using for years and you got the vanity domain, we'll showcase that instead of the domain that we provided for you. If you want to add this onto your account, just click Add to kvCORE. Very similar to that Google form that I just showed you earlier. Just choose your budget. For Facebook, the minimum is $250. Google's minimum is $500, and then up to $2,000. Tell our advertising team what market areas you want us to target. Choose your personal domain, and then right again below, it just lets you know the same information. It is a initial 3-month commitment. After that, it is a reoccurring monthly subscription. And depending on when you purchase it, we'll either run it this month or the following month. Now, when you start getting leads, your leads will be filtered into your smart CRM. So whether you're doing paid marketing, free marketing, or if you just, bulk imported your leads into the system, you're going to be able to find your leads in the smart CRM section where you can mass email and mass text. But you should also be organizing your leads and making sure your leads have a campaign running and a search alert running at all times. And when you're working on your pipeline, you could do lead CPR. So for the smart CRM, you have that filter tool here where you can filter leads by their statuses. You can also filter leads by, how we captured them. Maybe it's paid marketing or free marketing. Maybe your Facebook leads. Under behavior, you can also search for leads with no alerts and no campaigns. Again, it is recommended that all leads have a campaign running and search alert running at all times. That way, our system can continuously nurture your leads. That way, you have more time prospecting. You can also search for when they were last active or maybe when you last reached out to them. So as a best practice, I recommend creating 2 saved filters. One for leads without search alerts and one for leads without campaigns. In order to create these alerts or these filters, go back to that filter tool. Under behavior, toggle on no alerts. That way, it will be searching for all leads without alerts. And you're going to want to save that. Just give it a unique name. And any saved filters can be found here where it says select a saved filter. So this drop-down menu. You'll notice that there's a lot of saved filters already in here. And you can always manage your save filters by clicking that gear icon. You can always rename that filter, add it as a quick link on your smart CRM, and you can always delete it. Now you'll notice these two are turned on. So these are my quick links on my smart CRM. So they appear right here. They're a quick link on my smart CRM. So make sure you have one for no alerts, and then you create another one with no campaign. So since I already have these two filters in here, let me show you how you can easily make sure these leads all have a campaign running and a search alert running at all times. So when you're working your pipeline, or you have a task that says just to check in, what you should do is, search for leads without alerts. So it's going to be pulling all leads without alerts. Let me see how many leads here. There's 962. That's a lot of leads that's not getting those nurturing emails. So what I'm going to do before I get started is jump into that Marketing Autopilot tab and open up Search Alerts. This Search Alerts tile is a tool where we can create search alerts by a hashtag. So we're going to be creating a hashtag, and then we can apply that hashtag to those selected leads, and those leads with that specific hashtag will automatically have a search alert created for them with the criteria that I've plugged in. So I already created one here. This is how the setup looks or appears. You're going to plug in that hashtag. I created leads without alerts. But you can also notice here that they used, Yonkers, no alerts. Yonkers is an area. So, or maybe they could put San Diego, no alert, for instance. You're going to plug in that area. Again, the only requirement is to plug in an area, but it doesn't have to be a city. It can be a neighborhood, a school district, a zip code, or you can use that polygon map tool here. I've chosen San Diego as a city. And everything else here is optional, but I did fill some of the stuff in, like listing type. I selected single family, bedrooms and baths, 2+, 1+, and I plugged in a price range. No, San Diego's expensive. And then right below, frequency, it is defaulted to daily, but I recommend selecting weekly. That way, within a week, if any listings in the MLS that gets added that meets this criteria, that lead will receive that weekly email with those list of properties. And I would recommend turning on that open house alerts. That way, any listings in the MLS that have an open house that meet this criteria, your lead will also be notified about this as well. So I'll just update that. So once it gets added into your search alert settings here, you can then jump back into your smart CRM. Let me just clear that. I'm going to select all leads without alerts. Since I have over 900, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this row from 20 to 100. That way, I can update all 100 leads at a time. So once this loads up, I'm going to click on the check all box, click more actions, and from that drop-down menu, I'm going to select add hashtag. Okay, I'm going to search for my hashtag leads without alerts. And once I update those tags, all of these selected leads here will automatically be applied to that search alert I just created. And since you can only do it 100 at a time, after this page loads up, scroll down, you're going to go on to that next page. And again, you're going to do it again, 100 leads at a time. Before, you had to manually update each one individually, and that would take a long time, especially if you have over 900. The next thing that we're going to be working on is making sure your leads are part of a campaign. So I searched for leads without a running campaign, and that's a total of a little bit over 1,000. So what you're going to want to do is before you select all, under more actions, add a campaign, you're going to notice that these leads are in different statuses. Some say prospect. Let me scroll down again. Some is active lead, new lead. You don't want to add, the wrong campaign to the lead depending on their status. So what I would do is I would clear those filters, go to that filter tool again. For instance, I would search for new leads. Under details, I'm going to search for new lead buyers. And under behavior, does not have a running campaign. Now, as a best practice, I always select has email. That way, it's going to be pulling all new lead buyers with an email that do not have a running campaign. And then I'm going to hit apply. So that comes out to be, I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, 341. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, now that I've already had this changed to 100, I'm going to select all. Under more actions, add that campaign. And I'm going to choose the best campaign that best fits them. For instance, default new lead buyer. Because again, you don't want to add the default new lead buyer to, a prospect seller lead. And again, you can update these 100 leads at a time. Now, if you want to know what kind of campaigns you have, just go to your Marketing Autopilot tab and open up that first tile, Smart Campaigns. This is where you guys can check out all of the campaigns that we've implemented. Now we've implemented 10 campaigns into your library. Those 10 campaigns were pulled from the kvCORE library. That's because those 10 campaigns get the most engagements. So leads are responding back to our emails and text messages. So if you haven't already, I recommend you guys reviewing each of these 10 campaigns and just making sure you've read all emails and text messages. If you don't know how to view it, I'll click on this one here, default new lead buyer. And under campaign actions, I'm going to look for anything that says email and text message, because those get sent out to your leads. So day one, an email is sent. So I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to view this template. So it's going to say, thanks for checking out, and it's going to have your website URL in there. So again, make sure that your website field is filled in your profile. And I want you to do this for each email and text message for each campaign. If you want to make any slight changes to it, maybe you want to personalize it to make it sound more like you, reach out to our tech support team. That way we can walk you through it. We can assist you. Or if you just need an article with step-by-step with screenshots, we have an article related to campaigns in our support portal. There's one more area in this Marketing Autopilot that I wanted to showcase to you guys, which is the scheduled mass email tool. But before I do that, I see that Patty asked me a question. How many agents can get leads from the same areas? There's no limit. So if there's 20 of you guys marketing in the same areas, we're not going to prevent anything from happening between you guys. We're just going to make sure to market without it affecting any of you. So it's possible, you guys. There's no limit. Now for the scheduled mass email, that's a great question, Katy. For the scheduled mass email tool here, I like to refer this tool as your set it and forget it, because most agents use this tool for sending out their holiday emails to their clients or their sphere of influence. I also see agents use this for like newsletters. Whether you have a monthly or quarterly newsletter, they can schedule it out. That way they can set it and forget it. So, I see a lot of agents in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of the month, they create a holiday email that's going to be sent out, or maybe like a happy, anniversary email, maybe the date you sold them, or maybe, they could be like a birthday email. So again, You would go in here, schedule that email, and you're going to let our system know who's going to be receiving it. If you created a save filter, perfect. You can choose one of the filters that you've created. You can choose one filter. Contacts with hashtags, you can select as many hashtags as you like. I think I've just kept on going and going, and it's never stopped me. So again, it's however many hashtags you create, it will send it to leads that have these hashtags. But you may have leads that have multiple of these hashtags. Our system will catch that, and only one email will be sent. Or you can send it to leads with a specific status, such as sphere, new lead, or maybe active lead. And you can choose up to 3 statuses at a time. Then you tell our team or you tell our system when you want it to be sent out and what time. Just keep in mind that it is in Eastern time. This is the body of the email. You can simply copy and paste photos onto the body of the email. You can add in hyperlinks. We just can't embed videos onto emails at this time. So if you want to embed a video, you would have to make it into a hyperlink. Once we are able to embed videos, we will be notifying you through our chat bubble. We'll notify you in the What's New tab in your dashboard. And if you join our Facebook discussion group, we'll notify you there as well. So this does go over our training on, how you can edit your website, how you can organize and manage your leads with Lead CPR, and how you can also generate more leads, whether it's paid marketing or free marketing. Does anyone have any questions for me? Thomas, I know that you want to go over preferred lenders, so we'll go over that after as well. If anyone does have any questions, I'm unmuting everyone, so you guys have that option. It doesn't look like anyone does have any questions. So if you guys do have questions but just want to stay a bit, you guys can stay on. Everyone else that doesn't have any questions, I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy Tuesday. I'll still be on, just waiting, going over through anybody's last minute questions. Thomas, you're the first one. Let me hit pause.